gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Say they've been working around the clock to solve this murder. Which led us to this apartment complex where the suspect was detained and arrested. We're at a Scottsdale complex that's in close proximity to the trail. Now take a look at this map. Lauren Heike was found on a trail near the area of Mayo Boulevard and Scottsdale Road. The arrest happened just a 5-minute drive away at Catherine Townhomes at Scottsdale. Neighbors had a community meeting this evening where they first learned of the arrest. Now this comes a day after Lauren's family held a press conference asking if anyone knows anything to please tell Phoenix police.
Wow, so as you guys can see, they're arresting this individual who deleted this woman on a hiking trail. These super gremlins are on demon time.
They were surrounded by family and close friends. It was a very emotional press conference to watch. Her mom and dad in tears wanting the suspect arrested. Now neighbors at this complex saw several police vehicles swarm the 15th building this evening before the suspect was taken into custody about an hour later. We spoke with a woman who saw it all happen while she was out walking her dog and caught the arrest on video.
Damn.
Okay. Holy. It was around 6 p.m. Was walking my dog, saw about 3 SWAT trucks come in, 15 undercover vehicles pull up to a building. They literally blew the door down, went in screaming, get on the ground, get on the ground. They detained supposed suspect.
Supposed suspect. I mean, they got him, bruh. They got him dead to rights. And man, like I said before, super gremlins are just going to start randomly catching bodies because we're in a catching body culture in the community. Like, it's popularized via the music, and I think that, you know, it's just gotten out of hand. Dudes want to prove themselves by being able to say that they caught a body, and it's sad. And I don't know if he knew her. I genuinely think it was just some random. He just saw an opportunity and thought he was going to get off.
And brought him out. He sat there for a while they went inside and were searching and interviewing people.
With this man taken into custody, I can tell you that he is the same person that was shown on the video clip that we shared with you all a few days ago.
We learned the suspect is in his 20s. He's at police headquarters right now being questioned. Police say they'll have more information tomorrow. Of course, we'll be following this. Reporting live, Lindsay Regas, Fox 10 News.
On the suspect in the murder of Lauren Heike.
The 29-year-old was stabbed to death, left on a hiking trail in Phoenix. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum is here with the latest on the arrest. Justin.
John, Christina, Zion Teasley is accused of first-degree murder, and he just got out of prison last November.
Just got out of prison. Yeah, man, you can't make this stuff up. The defund the police movement, the criminal justice reform. And this brother here looks like a sun glider. I mean, I don't even, well, I do understand, you know, the mindset because we talk about it on this channel. But it's just like, man, for what? It's getting wild out here, y'all.
Court documents say he would not admit to killing Lauren Heike. A motive is still unclear. The murder weapon has not been recovered. And yesterday, Teasley had a flight booked for Detroit.
Dang. We're built this way. The Phoenix Police Department is built to chase these guys. My team is focused and dedicated. and we find him.
The autopsy of 29-year-old Lauren Heike reveals she was stabbed 15 times.
Damn.
She had self-defense wounds on her arms and hands. Phoenix police discovered her body on a hiking trail near Scottsdale Road and Mayo Boulevard last Saturday morning. Investigators say evidence indicated she was chased through a barbed wire fence.
Damn.
I do believe at this time that the attack was random. However, we have not concluded our investigation into that.
Yeah, man. Just super gremlins are running amok now and randomly deleting people. And it's almost, you can't explain what triggered this unless you really know what's going on and go back to, you know, the summer of George Floyd and, you know, even the CV stuff. All of that contributed to what we see now. I mean, it's always been pretty bad, but now it's getting even worse and amplified. And you kind of just got to sit back and just really understand where you at, where your surroundings, and because it's going to be a long ride politically. They're not ready to do what needs to be done. And honestly, I think we're going to see more of this criminal justice reform, people getting out and being able to move about even though they got heavy charges on them.
Police say surveillance video of the suspect is 22-year-old Zion Teasley. He lived about 1.5 miles away from where the murder happened. Detectives scoured through several hours of footage from last Friday. They say Heike walked from east to west on the trail and then out of the camera's view. At some point, Teasley is seen running after her, then away before returning to the spot her body was later found.
Damn.
Investigators pinged Teasley's cell phone to the area the same morning. Police say DNA from Heike's shoe matched Teasley.
And he literally brought his phone. I mean, these dudes are just crashing out. It's the crash out culture. It's the drill culture, all tied in one.
A convicted felon who served time in prison from July 2021 to November 2022, pleading guilty to armed robbery with a deadly weapon and disorderly conduct.
And he spent 1 year in jail for armed robbery. That's crazy.
He spent a little more than a year in jail of his 3-year sentence. Police say Teasley was recently fired for being aggressive towards female co-workers, stealing, and management said he routinely carried a pocket knife. After his arrest, police say Teasley spoke to detectives about growing up as a Christian, struggling with his sexuality, and his concern about the salvation of his soul.
Wow, so this is an LGBT, bro. Whoa, that was a plot twist. These super LGBT sun glider gremlins are on demon time.
According to court documents, he said, "There's no freaking way I'm here for a sex crime. I haven't been with anyone for a long time." Teasley recognized Heike from the news, telling police he wanted to look like her, but could not recall meeting her.
What? Hey, yo, this dude is all the way messed up. This is a trans LGBT. Yo. Is nobody gonna... This is crazy.
When asked if he planned the murder, Teasley said, quote, "I'm definitely not the person who plans to kill another person. If I was going to do something like that, it wouldn't be premeditated."
What the hell?
And we've confirmed Teasley's mother works for the Maricopa County Adult Probation Department. I asked if she assists police in any way. We are told she refused to speak to the authorities. Currently, Teasley is held.
Wow, so she works for the probation system and she won't even speak to the police. Dang. Can't make this stuff up.
On a $1 million cash bond. Live in the studio, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
Suspect in the murder of Lauren Heike.
The 29-year-old woman was stabbed to death, left on a hiking trail in Phoenix. Police discovered her body near Scottsdale Road and Mayo Boulevard last Saturday morning. Police sharing new details on the case today. The autopsy on the 29-year-old revealed she was stabbed 15 times. She had self-defense wounds on her hands and arms. Evidence indicates that she was chased through a barbed wire fence. The motive is still unclear, and the murder weapon has not been recovered. As for the suspect, 22-year-old Zion Teasley, He lived about a mile and a half away from where the murder occurred.
Teasley is now accused of first-degree murder in the case. He's being held on a $1 million cash bond. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins
The fact that he even has a bond is insane.
us live now with what we've learned about him. And Lauren, he did have a criminal past. That's right. In fact, at one point facing up to 13 felonies, and that's certainly very jarring when you hear that at first. But once you start digging into the court records, you get a little bit more of a clearer picture. This essentially stemming from a string of robberies happening at 2 local Circle K's where...
Dang, so he was facing 13 felonies, and he had armed robbery charges, and he only spent 3... I mean, he got sentenced to 3 years, but he only spent a little bit over a year in jail. And y'all talking about the criminal justice system is unfair. That seems more than fair to me. Because he went on a robbing spree, as she stated, and he's just out.
Reportedly, according to court records, Teasley would take things like Google Play cards. He would also take tobacco and beer and even money from the cash register. And according to those records, he also served some time behind bars and was on probation at the time of his arrest.
The killer responsible for Lauren's death is in custody.
That suspect, say officers, is Zion William Teasley, as documents and records reveal a glimpse into the 22-year-old's criminal past, including previous charges for robbery, kidnapping, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Those stemming from a string of 7 thefts occurring repeatedly at 2 Circle K's between the dates of May 15th to July 4th of 2020. Documents say Teasley would often inform clerks that he was committing a robbery, jumping behind counters and directing them to put hundreds of dollars on Google Play cards.
Wow, this dude is insane. He don't even care if there's a paper trail or a digital trail. He just put it all on the card.
On one occasion, documents say Teasley pointed a gun at a clerk. He was arrested shortly after. Teasley pled guilty and after taking a plea deal, served time from July 2021 until November 2022. In his pretrial services court report, he was only given a 2 for his new criminal activity score. As questions remain, a community is mourning the death of a young life taken too soon.
The community can breathe easier knowing that this suspect will not be able to harm anyone else. But that does little to ease the pain for Lauren's family. This is not a time for celebration.
And police say Teasley was recently fired from his job. According to records that we have, Teasley allegedly was taking things from that store, they say, and also harassing female employees there, too. We reached out to that store and they declined to comment tonight. Teasley is currently being held on a $1 million cash bond.
Lauren, there was another little nugget in the police report today that Teasley had enlisted in the Marines earlier in his life. What do you know about all that?
Whoa.
Yeah, great question, John. In fact, he even links in his LinkedIn, rather, he mentions that he is a Marine. But we did confirm that he only spent a few weeks at training and did not complete training. So that's what we know in
Oh, okay. So he tried to be a Marine. He couldn't do it.
terms of any type of military activity.
And apparently he was only in 2 weeks. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. And he did not complete basic training.
Okay. Okay. Lauren Clark tonight. Thank you.
The area of Mayo Boulevard. Lauren Heike was found on a trail near the area of Mayo Boulevard and Scottsdale Road. The arrest happened just a 5-minute drive away at Catherine Townhomes at Scottsdale. Neighbors had a community meeting this evening where they first learned of the arrest. Now, this comes a day after Lauren's family held the press conference asking if anyone knows anything to please tell Phoenix police. They were surrounded by family and close friends. It was a very emotional press conference.
That man looked like he rocking the same fit that he had when he deleted the woman. Sheesh.
To watch. Her mom and dad in tears, wanting the suspect arrested. Now, neighbors at this complex saw several police vehicles swarm the 15th building this evening before the suspect was taken into custody about an hour later. We spoke with a woman who saw it all happen while she was out walking her dog and caught the arrest on video.
Okay. Police. It was around 6 p.m. Was walking my dog, saw about 3 SWAT trucks come in, 15 undercover vehicles pull up to a building. They literally blew the door down, went in screaming, get on the ground, get on the ground. They detained supposed suspect and brought him out. He sat there for a while they went inside and were searching and interviewing people.
With this man taken into custody, I can tell you that he is the same person that was shown on the video clip that we shared with you all a few days ago.
We learned the suspect is in his 20s. He's at police headquarters right now being questioned. Police say they'll have more information tomorrow. Of course, we'll be following this. Reporting live, Lindsay Regas, Fox 10 News.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe, hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all killing me with this shit.
Nigga. Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
all your
more
store.
do you want from me?
Celebrating 70 years. 12 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the brutal murder of Lauren Heike. The 29-year-old was hiking along a North Phoenix trail when police say she was attacked from behind and then stabbed as many as 15 times.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kariba Devine.
And I'm Mark Curtis. Tonight, the suspect, Zion Teasley, is behind bars facing first-degree murder charges, and records show that he has a criminal history.
Team 12's Bianca Bono has been covering this story every step of the way, and she's joining us live tonight. Bianca.
Yeah, guys, and tonight we're digging into that suspect's history, learning he was just released from prison in November.
I do believe at this time that the attack was random.
And Phoenix police confident Zion Teasley is the man responsible for that attack.
See, I mean, damn. Bro, it is not looking good for the future of the community. Brothers are crashing out at 100 miles per hour.
Partners at Telemundo, Arizona, capturing video of his arrest. 29-year-old Lauren Heike was on a walk in broad daylight in Northeast Phoenix last Friday when police say Teasley attacked her from behind. She was stabbed 15 times.
I believe Lauren fought off her attacker and was able to flee, but her injuries were just too severe.
Police laying out some of their evidence. They say Teasley's cell phone pinged to the scene of the crime. They say cameras close to that scene show him walking on the same trail just minutes apart from her, then show him repeatedly running back and forth close to where Heike's body was later found.
We used our forensic tools to get a DNA profile.
Police say DNA found on Heike's shoe was a match to their suspect, a match made possible in part because of Teasley's criminal history.
These were multiple offenses that were investigated.
12 News asked Hector Diaz, a partner at Quarles and Brady, to review what's publicly available in Teasley's prior case. He faced 13 charges after police records say he robbed Circle K's 7 times between May and July of 2020. While wearing a mask, he threatened clerks, in some cases with a gun.
That we're talking about somebody who engaged in multiple offenses over a very short period of time involving.
I mean, he should have been doing 15 to 20. I mean, how are guys like these slipping through the cracks? It's crazy.
A firearm.
In June of 2021, Teasley struck a plea deal, pleading guilty to 3 charges, the most serious being armed robbery, a Class 2 felony. He was sentenced to 3 years behind bars.
There's a bit of surprise in terms of the manner in which this case was resolved.
Part of that surprise is due to the fact that Teasley did not serve prison time on his most serious offense. For the armed robbery charge, instead, he received supervised probation. His prison sentence stems from a disorderly conduct charge. We asked Diaz what would have likely happened had Teasley served time on the armed robbery charge.
If it's classified as a dangerous offense, that presumptive sentence, or the middle sentence as we often call it, is 10.5 years.
Teasley served less than 1.5 years in prison.
And that's a possibility here that, when the county looked at this, they said, okay, well, he is going to serve a prison sentence. When he gets out, he's still going to be supervised.
Court records say the
Supervised, bruh. When you let these super gremlin out, bro, it's OV. I mean, a lot of times these dudes, they're not gonna be checking in for nothing. And then the way that they doing things now, a lot of it's remotely. It's just a horrible recipe. I don't know who came up with this new way of probation, but it's different, especially for like violent offenses. I can understand if he had nonviolent offenses, but once you take a weapon and point it in somebody's face over some chips and a slushie, I mean, what are you doing?
defendant is a medium-low risk to reoffend. Teasley was released in November and now finds himself behind bars again, charged on suspicion of first-degree murder.
Incredibly serious offense. They know that this is a person that showed a propensity to engage in violent acts, and so they're going to want to make sure that they can piece the case together.
And we should note that we've reached out to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office with questions about this plea deal, but so far we have not heard back. Police say Teasley was recently fired from a retail job for being aggressive towards female colleagues. He did meet with his probation officer stemming from those prior robberies on May 3rd. That was after Lauren Heike was killed. We're live outside Phoenix Police. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Overnight, police announcing an arrest in the death of Lauren Heike, the 29-year-old found murdered on a hiking trail in Phoenix.
And it's the same, man. She was bad, too. Woo, man.
Investigators say the suspect is in his early 20s and is the person seen in the surveillance video running from the scene. Police serving a search warrant at this apartment complex.
With this information, we hope that the community tonight can rest a little easier knowing that this person's off the streets.
On Wednesday, Lauren's family pleaded for any information.
She was my little girl. I'm gonna miss her terribly.
Dang.
Lauren was walking at a popular trail close to her home last Friday morning.
She loved to exercise. She was walking, and we know she was happy. She went out that morning on a beautiful day to do what she does every day.
When her family didn't hear from her, they checked her phone, and it pinged close to where she lived, leading investigators to her location. The next day, her body was found. Investigators say she was viciously attacked from behind. Police then warning neighbors not to hike or walk alone.
And then my thing is, like, what's gonna happen? You know, you have a whole family affected by this. It's the ramifications, the blowback on the community. I mean, if we don't slow this stuff down internally first and then externally, then it's going to be, I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen. I'm just sitting back and watching. Okay, but it's not looking good.
The behavior in my opinion, was so heinous that I would imagine that the subject would be displaying behavior symptoms that just would look out of place.
As for Lauren's cause of death, police would only say that she suffered trauma to her body.
After Lauren's family spoke publicly last week, police were flooded with tips, but they won't say whether those tips helped lead them to this suspect. And no word yet on a motive. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
We're starting with breaking news right off the top tonight. Phoenix police announcing an arrest in connection with the murder of 29-year-old Lauren Heike. Investigators say Heike was hiking last Friday morning when she was attacked from behind. Her body was found the next day. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kadiba Devine. Let's go straight to Team 12's Bianca Bono, who is live near Scottsdale Road in Bell, where police just held a briefing. Bianca.
Yeah, guys, we're live inside an apartment complex near Scottsdale Road and Bell, and this is where police arrested that suspect. Police not yet releasing his name, but his arrest comes less than a week after they say he brutally attacked 29-year-old Lauren Heike just about a mile north of here.
Our detectives have been working tirelessly around the clock.
Phoenix police announcing the man they believe murdered Lauren Heike in broad...
Damn, man. Woo! It's crazy because Shorty was bad. She had like hella family who cared about her, and to go out like this.
Daylight is now in custody.
We received an outpour of support and tips called in. So I want to say thank you to the community.
Police holding off on releasing his name, but say he's a man in his early 20s and believe it's the same man seen running in this video. Officials say he lived in an apartment about a mile south of the scene of the crime. Exclusive images obtained by Telemundo, Arizona, showing the moment he was arrested at his home.
This is going to take a while for our detectives to still sift through all this evidence.
The tragedy unfolded last Friday around 10 a.m. 29-year-old Lauren Heike was out for a walk near Mayo Boulevard and 64th Street, close to where she lived, when officials say she was viciously attacked from behind. Her body found 24 hours later by a neighbor in the Paradise Ridge community. Her shocking death leaving the valley on edge ever since.
That's so close to home.
Amanda Barrios lives near Scottsdale Road and Bell. She heard about Heike's death earlier this week, but never expected the man responsible to be arrested just feet away from her apartment.
It was even closer to home when the guy lived in our complex. I just gives me like the chills.
On Thursday afternoon, Barrios heard what sounded like an explosion outside. This is what she saw.
Drones flying around, guns aimed at the door, and I just hear him like yelling, "We have a warrant, this is the police."
Police serving a search warrant at the suspect's home, where neighbors tell 12 News he lived with his mother and other relatives.
We know that not only this tragedy has affected the family, but it's affected this neighborhood and the entire community.
Heike's friends and family left trying to cope with this senseless act of violence. Community members heartbroken, but relieved the man police say is responsible is off the streets.
I'm so glad Phoenix PD went to work so quickly and made it happen.
I can sleep better at night knowing that, like, you know, the person's captured.
Damn.
And right now, Phoenix police say that suspect is at their headquarters being interviewed by homicide detectives. Mark Caribe.
Bianca, did police give any indication as to what led them to this suspect?
Guys, there's still a lot we don't know tonight. Police not yet in a position to reveal specifics about this case, but they anticipate that sometime tomorrow we'll know more, like who this person was, what, if any, connection he had to Heike, and how they caught him here. Guys?
All right, Bianca Bono reporting live. Thanks, Bianca.
Fox 10's Irene Snyder continues our coverage of Heike's death. It's rattled the North Phoenix community. It rattled the whole community, frankly. Irene, she hiked that area frequently, and it was a place that was pretty busy and well frequented.
Well, John, that's absolutely right. Good evening. This is the area where 29-year-old Lauren Heike was found. According to neighbors, you can see there are some flowers out here as well in the area where they say her body was found. And to give you some perspective, if you look up there, just how close this area is to a very nice residential area here in the North Phoenix community. And then if we want to take a look over here too, Justin had mentioned in his story some of that barbed wire, that she was chased through barbed wire, just how close that is to where she was found. This is all over this hiking trail out here. And now that her accused killer is behind bars, we spoke to a lot of the neighbors, people who live in this area, hike this area. They say today they are breathing a sigh of relief.
It's heartbreaking. It's scary.
Hikers and residents in North Phoenix have been on edge for the last week.
Seeing how close it was to, you know, a residential neighborhood, it's just, wow. It's pretty terrifying for sure.
Here on the trail where 29-year-old Lauren Heike was found dead. Heike's accused killer, 22-year-old Zion Teasley, arrested at a Scottsdale complex last night. Case, what was your reaction when you found out he was caught?
Relief, because I walk this every day.
Neighbors there say the trail is a popular spot.
If you go right up Scottsdale Road here, right at the Princess, there's access to that trail system. So I know a lot of the residents here take their dogs up there and walk up there themselves.
Many locals were nervous leaving their homes before the arrest in an area they generally considered safe.
Very disheartened. I actually moved to this area because of the safety. Kind of a sigh of relief, yes. To know that he's not still out there.
Now that Teasley is behind bars, neighbors' thoughts turn to Heike's family.
I can't imagine what her family is going through right now. Thoughts and prayers are with her.
And there are signs out here on that trail where Heike was found dead, warning people to not walk by themselves, avoid suspicious activity, along with some information about what happened to Heike out here, urging people to use extra caution. Absolutely a devastating story, definitely rocking this community. I'll send it back to you, John. Reporting live in North Phoenix, Irene Snyder, Fox 10 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.